top 5 interview questions and a bonus at the end of how to answer a question you don't know the answer to. So first question, tell me about yourself. With this, interviewers are trying to get a sense of who you are, but why you would fit the specific role that you're applying for and that you're interviewing for. So to answer it, spend a couple minutes talking about your professional history and then end by tying it into the specific role that you are interviewing for at the moment. Second interview question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And this, no one knows what the future holds, but the interviewers are trying to understand if you have goals and if you've been able to meet those. So, to answer this, spend a couple minutes talking about your past accomplishments and how that ties into what you're looking for in the next few years. And specifically, how this role is going to tie into what you're hoping to accomplish in the next few years. Third question, what's your biggest weakness? And this isn't just a gotcha question. It's trying to assess your self awareness and if you've been able to handle the things that you know that you're weak at. Have stories to explain where you've been able to mitigate your weaknesses in the past and also playing to your strengths. So be honest, be open, and have specific stories of how you've worked with your weaknesses in the past so that you can give confidence that it won't be an issue with this incoming role. Next question is how you manage conflict with your coworkers. So this is all about emotional intelligence and being able to solve problems within a group. So, with this question, it doesn't have to be the most amazing story or the most amazing outcome of how you save the world from nuclear disaster. But what it does need to show is that you can communicate and that you're aware of other people's emotions and the problems at hand and how to navigate that in a great way. So, make sure you have stories prepared as well. And it doesn't have to have perfect outcomes, but it does have to show that you've learned from those past experiences. Final question. Tell me about a time you had to deliver a project under a tight timeline. So, with this, interviewers are looking for managing trade offs. What things are you willing to cut? And how are you approaching problems when there's limited resources or some sort of constraint? You don't have to show that you shipped the next version of Google within a week or saved the world from hunger within a year. But with this, you do have to show that you know how to manage trade offs and communicate when those trade offs are going to have bad effects with some group or some outcome. So, understanding the answers to these 5 questions will get you 90% through any interview. The last part, this bonus part, how do you answer a question that you don't know the answer to? When I was a solutions engineer, I would often demo really expensive software to executives, and they would ask me questions that I wouldn't know the answer to. And one trick that I learned was to use questions in return to buy myself some time and then also have a more general conversation as opposed to saying no or even worse, looking stupid and trying to answer a question I didn't know the answer to. And so by asking a clarifying question, it can help you understand the importance of the question because sometimes they're just curious and it doesn't really have an effect. And in those cases, you can answer to the best of your ability and the conversation will move on. If it is something critical that's to the team, you can address it in an appropriate way. You can say that you'll get the answer later on, that you'll let them know after the interview, or it can open a discussion about the problems that the team is facing. So, what this does is it demonstrates that you know how to communicate with the interviewer and that you are also resourceful, that you're not going to say no and give up when you don't know an answer to something. So, using that trick will get you through the last 10% of interview questions that may be a surprise. Use these tricks and succeed in your next interview. And excited to hear the success stories in the comments. If you need additional help, there's resources at cerebral.com for both your resume, for your interview, and for negotiation processes during the hiring process. So check us out and let us know if you have any thoughts in the comments.